Hello. Hey, so it's the dead of winter, and so yeah, you're gonna notice because I'm fully dressed for the cold weather. So that'll date this video. It's January 2022, and today I am going to show you how to install the commonly called shrimp net on the World War II M1 helmet. So you can see this one I've already installed, and you can see the fitment, that's a word I just made up, is really nice. Follows the profile of the helmet, comes down the sides, everything nice and snug, nice and tight. It's not pillowed up, bunched up. I have the helmet liner. Seat's very nice. It does stick up a little bit in the back. That's typical when you have a helmet net. But it would ride on your head just fine. It would display great. So let me show you how to put it on. When you get a shrimp net from us, it just comes in a kind of a square shaped, and then you also get this nifty rubber band. Okay? What I always tell people is, don't throw this rubber band away. Keep it. Because if you ever want to put any other type of helmet netting or camouflage on your helmet, you can use this. Let me show you. It kind of acts like a dead man. So it's just an extra set of hands. You know, you don't really need the person to think. You just need that set of hands. And so that's what this is going to do. It's going to be our extra set of hands. What I like to do is I set the net so that the front and back drape over and that the sides just barely touch the table. So you can see I have it fairly nice and centered. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch the dead man or the rubber band over the helmet, over the top. What I like to do is I like to kind of throw my gut into it. It could slip off. I practiced a couple times, so hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, we'll just start over. So what I do is I get a good stretch on the rubber band, I lean in on it like that, and I drop the thing down around. So here's what we've got to start with. Okay, it doesn't look like much yet, but believe me, the rubber band is a real lifesaver. So let's get moving here. First thing I like to do is I like to just start to pull the edges of the helmet net down. I apologize, I'm not looking at you a lot, trying to focus. So I have, what brought this video about was I'm cutting shrimp nets today in the shop, and they've been out of stock for a while, and I'm like, well, I better get at that. So I'm cutting them, and I'm like, you know, I haven't installed one of these in a really long time onto a helmet, so maybe I should do it just to see if I still can. And so I'll be honest, I did one last night, I did this one, and this will be my third one, and I can tell you that I have not installed a shrimp net in probably a good 2 years at least. So what you can see I'm doing, it's starting to look like something. So the point of me telling you that is that I'm kind of fresh, and like you would be if you get one of these in the mail. So we're going to see how it turns out. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm pulling the netting down around the helmet, and I'm kind of getting a pre-position. Not a preposition, a pre-position, meaning I am positioning the helmet to get to the point where I want to flip it over and start to work it into the inside of the helmet. And I'm there, okay? It's already looking pretty good. I mean, if you wanted to go sniper veil, you could leave it like this. And it's kind of ugly, but hey, you know. So this is a fixed bail M1 helmet, so this is the earliest type of helmet. It also has the largest profile. Okay, so I'm installing this net onto the largest version of the M1 helmet. Okay, so it's going to give me a little bit of grief, and at times it can kind of be nerve-wracking because you're like, man, I don't think this thing's going to fit. It'll fit. Don't get nervous, don't panic. Okay, that's the biggest thing you want to avoid is Don't panic. Okay, I'm just looking this over, and I feel like I have the netting patterned out on my helmet just the way I want it. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to commit it like this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fit my chin strap through. Now, what you want to do is you want to pick the spot where the chin strap, where the netting comes just over the rim. So it'd be right about in this area. And what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to snip one tiny section, and that's it. So that's it. I literally cut one, let's call it knot, out of the net. I don't know if you can see that, but it's right there. And what I'm going to do is now I'm going to feed the chin strap through. Mind my sniffles, like I said, it's literally the dead of winter here in Wisconsin, and well, you just get the sniffles in January. So here we go. Okay, that's through. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to do the other side. Again, what I do is I pull the net down nice and tight. Wherever the net kind of falls right over the rim in the neighborhood of that chin strap, it's going to be right here. I look at that knot and I just snip it. One little snip. That's it. Okay, one little snip, and then I feed the chin strap through. I get it all fed over. I pull it down around the chin strap loop, kind of stretch it around. Okay, and let me break it over there. Okay, there. Okay. And now this one kind of hangs and dangles. Now you can kind of see how it's starting to take shape. Okay, so what I do now is I kind of reposition my rubber band. I get it pushed down really good, down as close to the rim of the helmet as I can. And then what I do is I go around and all these little, like, we'll call them kinks, I try to get rid of them. So I'm just kind of straightening. The least amount of those you have, the better. Alright? And I'm going to leave one. You're going to end up leaving a few of them, but what I'm doing now is I'm snugging. So I'm really pulling this netting down nice and tight as I possibly can. And I just keep positioning and snugging it down, and just not to the point where you're going to rip the netting, but you want to really get it really pulled down nice, because some of it's going to back up on you when you set the helmet liner in. And that's just gonna happen. So you want to get that down now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to start to kind of flop the netting down. This one still has the tag on it from the larger net that I cut it from, and I did that on purpose, kind of as a challenge to myself. So it's going to add a little extra material inside here, and I was just curious to see myself how it's going to fit. Okay, so you can see that I'm pulling this down over the rim now and just really working the stretch of the helmet net. Okay. Okay, I'm working it around again, so I'm starting to like this. Okay, there's no need to get it wet. There's no need to, use boiling water. None of that. Okay? Alright, so here we have it. Everything is inside. What I'm going to do now, and you can see it really looks nice. Okay? We're not out of the woods yet, though. Chances are I'm going to have to do this more than once, and that's just normal. And what I mean by I'm going to have to do this more than once is when I drop the helmet liner in, I probably will have to bring the liner back out and do a little bit more, tug here, snug there, movement here. We'll see. Maybe I'll get lucky. I don't know. But what I like to do, we're going to call this the front of the helmet, because it is. This is the back. What I like to do is I like to drop the front in See if I can do this on an angle. I like to drop the front in, and then I drop the back in, and you can actually feel the air rush out of the back of that helmet when you're doing this, and I like to do that. Now this is really sticking up, right? We're not going to freak out and panic. Okay, we're going to reposition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go like this again. I'm going to move some of these pieces of netting that have folded onto themselves and created kind of a kink. Okay, I'm going to move those around a little bit and try and buy myself some space. Now, let's just back up the train for a second here, because what we're doing is we're going for beauty. See, we're going for beauty. Display, beauty, you want it to look nice. Would a soldier in the field mess with it to this degree? I suppose it just depended on how much time they had available to them at the moment when they decided that this would be a good idea, right? That's why if you look at reference pictures, a lot of times the back part of the net's flopped out and just the front part's tucked in, and a little bit of the net goes down the back of the soldier's neck, things like that. But we're going to go for beauty. We want this thing to look really nice. So again, front, I've got everything lined up the way I like it. And I'm going to go front to back. Yeah, that went down much better. Now, I'm going to give it a little push. Not to the point where I'm damaging anything, but I'm just getting it snug down. This is looking pretty good. It's looking really good, actually. And the last thing I do, okay, this is what I do. You don't have to, is I give it a little. There you go. All right. So there you have it. Looking good. What I do now, look, before you take this rubber band off, what you're going to do is you're going to position your leather chin strap. That's going to help finish it off in the front, keep it on there really nice. So let's do that. So these just clip in on the triangle, on the little garter stud there. Bring it around the front, clip it on to the other side. Little snap, come on. Let's hear that snap. There we go. Okay, I'm going to tighten this up. Snug this down really nice. There. Okay. Alright, now, last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the back of this rubber band up, off, woo! There we go. Keep it. Keep the rubber band, right? For the next time, for any other type, here you go. Check it out. Shrimp net installed. Woo-hoo-hoo. Looking good. So here's the first one I did. Here's the second. This is the brown side. This is the green side. I'm really liking that. If you want, you can put this around the back of the helmet. This is a fixed bail, early one, so it doesn't go around the back. See, I was a little too short. So we're just going to leave that one to dangle. What you could do, if you wanted, I'm not going to, is you could make a little slit and you could shove the helmet. You see that in reference pictures a lot. Guy will make a little slit right there and he'll shove the chin strap through to keep it up out of the way. Then this side you can simply just kind of hook on like that if you want. Or if you have the type of helmet that you can get this chin strap around the back, then do that. Okay, this one won't. This is an original helmet. The early chin strap doesn't always fit. Okay, there you go.